Its eyes seemed to bore into my soul, and I could feel an overwhelming sense of dread wash over me. I couldn't move, couldn't speak, and could barely breathe. Welcome to Sussbox, where we share spine-tingling stories that'll keep you at the edge of your seat. If you're ready for a thrilling ride, don't forget to hit that like button to show your support. All right, let's jump into today's chilling tale. I'm Michael, and I used to work the night shift at an old, isolated factory on the outskirts of the quiet town of Ashbourne. The air was always thick with a sense of foreboding, and the factory itself seemed to emanate an eerie aura. I often wondered why I continued to work there, but job opportunities were scarce in a small town like this. Eventually, the unnerving occurrences and an overwhelming sense of dread compelled me to leave the job, despite the limited options for employment in Ashbourne. The first time I experienced something strange, I was making my rounds through the dark, barely lit halls. I could have sworn I heard whispers, and chilling breezes blew past me, even though the windows were shut tight. I tried to shake it off as my imagination played tricks on me, but the shadows that danced along the walls seemed to mock my attempts to remain calm. One night, while making my rounds, I decided to explore the abandoned wing of the factory. The door creaked open, revealing a thick darkness that felt like I was being swallowed whole. My flashlight flickered as I walked deeper into the gloom, the air growing colder and more oppressive. That's when I saw a twisted and malevolent figure lurking in the shadows. Its eyes seemed to bore into my soul, and I could feel an overwhelming sense of dread wash over me. I couldn't move, couldn't speak, and could barely breathe. It felt like an eternity before the figure vanished, and I was able to stumble out of the room, heart pounding and mind racing. I spent countless hours researching the factory's history, trying to find a logical explanation for the terrifying encounter. There had to be something to explain the whispers, the chilling breezes, and the sinister figure that haunted the abandoned wing. My search for understanding led me to confide in my fellow night shift workers, who, to my surprise, had their own unnerving experiences. As I listened to their stories, it became clear that the factory was not just an ordinary building. There was something sinister lurking within its walls, something that seemed to feed on our fear and confusion. We tried to rationalize it, tried to find explanations for the things we'd seen. But deep down, we knew there was no escaping the truth. The factory was haunted. With every shift, I feel the malevolent presence growing stronger, and I wonder how much longer I can endure the terror that awaits me each night. But in the quiet town of Ashbourne, I have little choice. I must face the darkness, confront the unknown, and try to survive the chilling embrace of the haunted factory. As the nights wore on, the hauntings became more intense. I would see apparitions in the corner of my eye, only to turn and find nothing there. The whispers grew louder, morphing into haunting voices that seemed to call out my name. The feeling of being watched weighed on me like a crushing burden, leaving me perpetually on edge. Eventually, I couldn't take it any longer. The terror had become too much for me to bear, and I made the decision to quit my job at the factory. I hoped that by severing my connection to that haunted place, I could find some semblance of peace. But the memories of my experiences refused to fade, clinging to me like a heavy shroud. I tried to move on with my life and find a new sense of normalcy. But the haunting memories continued tormenting me. The apparitions would appear in my dreams, and the voices would follow me into my thoughts. It was as if a piece of the factory had latched onto my soul, refusing to let go. Desperate for closure, I sought therapy and joined support groups for people who had experienced the supernatural. I shared my story, listened to others, and tried to find comfort in the knowledge that I was not alone in my struggles. But the lingering mystery of the factory haunted me, leaving me with a burning need for answers that I knew might never be found. As the years have passed, my battle with the unexplained continues. The questions that have plagued me since my time at the factory still gnaw at the edges of my mind. But I've come to accept that there may be no resolution to the supernatural events that unfolded within those walls. I carry the perpetual scar of the true night shift horror I endured, forever lost in the realms of the inexplicable. In the quiet town of Ashbourne, the old, isolated factory still stands, casting its eerie shadow over the land. And as darkness of night descends, I can't help but wonder what other souls will be drawn into its chilling embrace, doomed to face the unknown and become yet another part of the factory's haunting legacy. And that's the end of our eerie story. Thank you for joining us on this chilling adventure. We'd love to know your thoughts. What do you think about Michael's harrowing experiences? Share your opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on more captivating tales. Feel free to explore our other videos for more hair-raising stories. Until next time, stay safe and sleep tight.